On June 8, 2017, Lynlee Renick made a horrifying discovery that would change her life forever. She found her husband Ben lying in a pool of blood on the floor of their snake facility where he operated his world-renowned snake breeding business. The situation was grim, setting the stage for a curious and a criminal tale that would unravel for several years. Before diving into detail, subscribe to the Crime Circuit channel and press the bell icon to stay in touch. Let's dive into the case.
Husband's on the ground and there's blood everywhere.
Do you know what happened to him?
No.
God, my brother's dead. I had a little shake.
Lynlee Renick's frantic 911 call sent the police rushing to the scene, armed and ready to find out who had taken the life of the snake breeder. The initial theory was that it might have been a robbery gone wrong, given the high value of the snakes that Ben owned on his property. But what they found next changed everything.
It was a snake attack, and so whenever I entered there, we came to the body. I removed the sheet from the foot to the head and then observed the body. I crouched down to take a closer look, and when I did this, I then saw some divots in the floor. I also saw some injury to the face that I would say was more consistent with not a snake injury, but a gunshot wound. And then I saw a shell casing on a shelf just above the decedent's head.
Ben had been shot multiple times. Who killed him is another mystery. Police take a closer look into this matter and investigate Ben's wife, Lynlee, and Ben's brother, Sam. The investigators explained that they usually follow a standard procedure, and they did the same in this case because both Lynlee and Sam were there when they arrived. They checked them for gunshot residue, but the tests came back negative, meaning there were no signs that they fired a gun. It's important to take a step back to understand this perplexing case better. In 2012, Ben and Lynlee welcomed their daughter, and their family grew. Lynlee, with a background in massage therapy, quit her profession to support Ben full-time in his snake business. They worked together for years until Lynlee opened her spa in 2016. Known as the Cynthia Spa, a source of pride and happiness for her, the Rennicks seemed to live the dream, a successful marriage and multiple successful businesses. The evening of June 8, 2017 had been planned meticulously. Ben was supposed to pick up their children from school. A babysitter was scheduled to come over, and Lynlee and Ben had looked forward to a date night, which, as we know, never happened. After a few days, as the police dived deeper into the murder investigation, they stumbled upon a series of text messages on Lynlee Renick's phone that revealed a startling secret. Lynlee had been involved in multiple extramarital affairs, including one with a man named Brandon Blackwell. Lynlee's spa manager, Ashley Shaw, also confirmed the existence of these affairs.
And did you know Eric Brewer at the time?
Through the spa, yes.
Okay. And were you aware of whether he and Lynlee were engaged in an extramarital affair?
Yes.
And who told you about that?
Lynlee told me about it.
The story turns even darker as we learn that Brandon and Lynlee had a child together a year and a half after Ben's death. Their relationship eventually soared, leading to an order of protection against Blackwell, which he repeatedly violated. Blackwell's arrest in 2020 marked a significant point in the investigation. During his discussions with the state, he implicated Lynlee Renick in her husband's murder. According to Brandon Blackwell, Lynlee Renick had attempted to poison her husband before he was brutally murdered. But that wasn't all. He also revealed that two co-conspirators were involved, Ashley Shaw and Michael Humphrey. Michael Humphrey used to be Lynlee Renick's boyfriend. They were in a relationship before.
Yeah, something like that.
How long were the two of you boyfriend and girlfriend?
On and off for a few years.
Michael Humphrey had a history of being in and out of jail. Ashley Shaw, in her discussions with investigators, revealed a shocking twist. She claimed that Lynlee Renick convinced her that Ben was abusive, and that she just wanted to help her to get out of a toxic relationship. Shaw even admitted to a previous attempt to poison Ben. Furthermore, she confessed to assisting Lynlee in contacting Michael Murphy and later aiding in covering up the murder. In exchange for her cooperation, the state granted her full immunity. Fast forward to January 17, 2020, nearly 3 years after Ben's murder, Lynlee Renick and Michael Humphrey were arrested. Humphrey's trial was held first, and the statement that he gave would shock everyone.
What kind of transpired in terms of the conversation between you and Lynlee?
They had told me that they had tried to give him a shake that had pills in it, and she She also said that she was
Let me stop you
at the shake with the pills in it, and that they were trying to find somebody to shoot him.
Seeking out somebody to shoot him?
She said that there was different physical and sexual abuse going on, like raping and,
And did you give him any advice with respect to that?
I told him I was not going to be a part of that.
And did the cop...
Michael Humphrey didn't stop at that point. What he says next contradicts Lynlee Renick's account completely.
In time, or did you make some decisions on your own?
I just made a decision. Whenever I went up there to go get a massage that 2 or 3 days later, whatever it was, I actually took her my gun.
So you go up there with the gun.
Yep.
Is the gun have ammo with it?
It does. It's loaded.
Humphrey confessed to giving Lynlee Renick the weapon used in the murder, but what he reveals next about when he and Lynlee reached the snake facility is even more surprising.
Sort of behind me. She walks up to me, and I feel something at my hip. I end up turning around and looking at it. It's the gun that I had given her.
And when you see that, what is your reaction?
I shoved it back at her and asked her basically what the hell she was doing. So like I said, I was looking at a whole lot of snakes. And then I heard a shot come out, which inside there was extremely loud, so I kind of ducked a little bit. I looked down through there, and she was at the end of the corridor, or whatever you want to call it, posed up like this with a gun.
You may be wondering how Lynlee's residue came back negative, but here's the mind game behind this. Ashley Shaw also confessed to helping Lynlee on the day of her husband's death. She described Lynlee rushing into the spa and asking her to follow her to the back. Lynlee undressed and washed her body extensively. The reason behind her clean hands and body upon returning to the murder scene is why Lynlee's gunshot residue tests came back negative. The jury had listened to 2 different stories about what occurred to Ben on June 8, 2017. So far, it's been a matter of one person's word against another's. Lynlee Renick was in a tough spot. She had to go through thorough and intense questioning by prosecution. They would closely examine everything she had said, challenging and examining it to find the truth.
Who had $1 million life insurance policy on their head?
Ben?
Okay. And who was the sole beneficiary of that life insurance policy should he be killed on June 8th of 2017?
I believe me.
Back in the past, Essentia Spa was struggling financially. Lynlee needed to catch up on many payments, owning much money to the bank and heating and cooling companies. She had accumulated thousands of dollars in unpaid bills, including some of that Ben, her husband, didn't even know about. Occupied with his snake business, Ben allowed Lynlee to run the spa alone, but it didn't work out well. She was primarily doing it just for the money. After a thorough investigation, Lynlee was sentenced to 16 years in prison, bringing this chapter of the story to a close.
Okay, this is verdict. As to count 1, we the jury find the defendant, Lynlee Renick, guilty of murder in the 2nd degree as submitted in instruction number 9, and that's...
The story here reminds us that sometimes people keep secrets or do things that hurt others, even if everything seems fine on the outside. It's clear that talking and solving problems in a relationship is super important. Trust and being truthful are the key things for a strong relationship. Eventually, the truth usually comes out, and those who don't tell the truth might get into serious trouble. With that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you can stay in touch with me. And this is Crime Circuit and I'm D. Ellis. Till next time, stay safe. I love y'all. Peace.